All right, stocks by the numbers, one more, and I wanted to do an update on Supermicro as well. SMCI, of course, stock 44.79, down 1 1/3, down about 3% today. 44.85 right now after hours, up about 6%, 6 cents, excuse me. But I wanted to show as well that we've been dancing around this fib level over the last couple of days here, and you can see that on Friday we kind of up, down, and ended in the middle, and today we almost formed what was looking like a bearish hammer, but the stock ended up closing up here essentially right near this fib level, technically closing about a nickel above. So, we just retested this line, and it's a little difficult to call in the short term because, again, the last time we looked at the stock, the drop back down here, if they did want to fill this gap, would kind of be understandable. But also at the same time, we just got that news with DataVolt coming in. So this is why, again, I do believe SMCI is on the up and up. And because we did slightly close above the fib and we didn't form this bear hammer, we should technically have a little bit of a bounce here. And you can see that we're kind of beginning to form an upward pattern here. And worst case scenario, we form a rising wedge here. What are we looking at? 46.50 something. Yeah, that's good enough, right? So even hypothetically, right, we could be doing something like this, and then we could potentially come back down and break and retest the fib. But technically, because we got above that fib, we really should have a bounce, and we should climb back up to like 47, 48 and change, in my opinion. If we were to immediately jump up and come back up again to this trend line here, that would reverse the momentum, in my opinion, and that would actually cause the stock to keep climbing up to about 55 and potentially back up here to about 66.5. So we'll wait and see if that happens, but we do potentially have a rising wedge. Again, we could potentially break here and make a newer low, right? So I'm just predicting right now currently about this wedge, because we could also have a channel like this, right? We could also, I mean, we could potentially be forming an ascending triangle as well, right? So, of course, I'm trying to be positive with it, but right now, even if we're wedging, we're technically going to go a little bit higher here in the short term. And again, if we immediately pop up to this main blue trend line here, we were talking about very high 50s, potentially around 51. If we do happen to climb up here back to about 50 and then break and retest the fib, and then we bounce back up to the blue trend line, you can see it'll stretch it out about another 3 or 4 weeks, but the stock could then get up to about 55, 56 up here at the trend line, get above this trend line as well, that would be coming across, and of course then we'd be on the up and up back to 60 plus. So unfortunately, again, we've been dealing with a lot of volatility and a lot of headlines on something like SMCI, but in my opinion, I know it was a little rough, but I said, in my opinion, I would just kind of stay the course. As they beat the stock up, I would actually accumulate more shares, and people were, again, very upset, and they were worried if the stock gets delisted off the NASDAQ, but again, I showed, in my opinion, going back in the past, it happened before, and it didn't affect the company. They continued to climb, they continued to grow the business, and then boom, they got relisted on the NASDAQ. So that's why, really, in my eyes, I didn't see it as a big deal. And I also predicted that as the dust started to settle, that all of a sudden the stock would, then get spoken about positively. They would then get price target upgrades. They would then have deals and contracts and orders coming in to further add to the value over the long term, right? And we're slowly starting to see that that's kind of what's happening. SMCI price target raised to 40 by, what is that, Mizzou? Neutral. Dell unveils new AI servers powered by NVIDIA chips. But also we spoke, I may have mentioned it in the Discord, I don't remember if we did a video, but $20 billion AI push drives biggest weekly gain in months. Right, this was the deal. Saudi Arabia, DataVolt, absolutely beautiful. And again, it was essentially just like what happened with Rolls-Royce, right? I said the same thing. The books were a mess. They had to cut the dividend. The expenses started to get overwhelming, so they had to restructure. They had to, get the ship back on the right track. And then all of a sudden, I predicted again that the price target upgrades were going to come in, and then the stock was going to climb up to $4, $5, $6. Then they were going to start talking about it. Then they were going to ask, oh, is it worth your attention now? And it's literally exactly what happened. And all of a sudden, the deals started coming in, and then people were worried about tariffs, but then we found out that tariffs wouldn't be that big of an issue, and now the stock's up at $11. And again, first brought on the channel at $1.20. But again, same thing here with SMCI again, because you can see even over time, we're slowly making these higher highs. Again, over the long term, big pop breakout, right? And if we climb up, boom, then we break up, and then we boom. And you understand? So in my opinion, I'm still bullish on SMCI. Again, until I hear otherwise. I always said that even with all the drama going on, until I heard that, oh, this company will never work with them again. This company pulled the business from SMCI, right? This company canceled the contract. Until you hear things like that, you really shouldn't get too worried, in my opinion, especially with the fundamental growth that we saw with SMCI. And now, boom, oh, he had $20 billion, Saudi Arabian, I mean, tale is all this time, man. The multi-year deal worth around $20 billion will see Supermicro high-density GPU systems, modular service racks, storage solutions, hyperscale AI campuses, rollout in Saudi Arabia, future expansion planned in the United States. Partnership comes just weeks after Supermicro slashed its fiscal Q1 outlook, citing weaker enterprise demand and purchasing delays. Warning sent the stock below 30, and boom, now we're back at 45. DataVolt deal, coupled with improving sentiment tied to easing U.S.-China trade tensions, has reignited optimism around Supermicro's role in the AI infrastructure space. Yeah, all of a sudden now they're a player again, right? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Technical traders eyeing resistance, 50, 100-week moving averages, 68. Such a piker price, in my opinion. That's what I mean. People are still scared. People are still worried. And people will come at me and they'll be like, oh, you think it should just pop up here to 60 and then climb back up to 80, 90? Yes. In my opinion, yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. That's where it was on 3 billion with the growth and the addition to the S&P. Now we're in the 5s, the 6s. We got a $20 billion deal, right? The company was saying, what, 28, 27, 28 billion potentially for the year. That's less. That's more than the market cap right now. So that's why, again, people can say whatever they want. They can swing it. The traders could have a field day with it. But if we're talking long term, in my opinion, I believe SMCI is still a player in the space as it was here. That's why all of this happened over the years. That's why this breakout happened. The addition to the S&P happened. And then all of a sudden, we got to bring it down. We got to beat it up, in my eyes, so that other big people can reposition and take advantage because they screwed up and they missed it. So now they're building a position while they're pushing drama to all of you. And then this. Like this. In my opinion, that's what's going to happen. And that's why, again, I always tweet out and I always mention in the Discord, I stand by my personal $200+ price target on SMCI. So shares, DataVolt partnership, yeah. Just beautiful, just beautiful. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick update and show the fib level. And again, this potential trend line bump up here to about 51. So we'll see if we want to hold the fib and climb up to the trend line, or if we decide to drop back down and break and retest this support trend line down here at about 41. And we'll see it's Monday, right? So we'll see, maybe like Wednesday, Thursday, maybe I can come back and do another update. We'll keep an eye on it for a day or two, but that's it. I'll end it there. So stocks by the numbers. Thanks for your time. Of course, thumbs up, algorithm, that helps, all that stuff. Subscribe to the channel. That, of course, means a lot to me. Share the video and all that. But again, I know markets are rocky and they're volatile. So I do want to wish everybody success. I hope everyone makes a couple of dollars. Thanks again for your time. Have a good day.